This one feels like slightly up-tempo. It's a slightly remixed version. Maybe not. All right, hold on. Turn the music down. We did a little bit of vocab. I can't say I internalized anything. It is so difficult. There is so much vocab. The nice thing is the light at the end of the tunnel. I got the final syllabus of the year. I've got a personal date with the professor at some point on December 12th for my oral exam. Spoken. I don't know if it's gonna be like a conversation or if I got to give like a speech. I have no idea. And then it's a full extra week, the 19th. It's going to be a 2-hour written final. It's been a minute since I've been in school. Like, is that normal? 2 hours? How long does your finals usually go on for? 2 hours feels like a really long time. Is that normal? It's been a while. I honestly cannot remember. 3 hours? Jesus. Well, to be fair, it'll end up being about 3 hours because it'll be an hour. I don't even know how long I'm supposed to be sitting there talking. But that's going to be at least a half hour. And then the written part is 2 hours. But I mean, you know, everything is so cumulative within the lessons. Like, I'm sure we'll be going back like a little bit to like some of the other vocab between like chapters 1 and 5. But if you're going to do anything like in chapter 6, grammar-wise, you kind of have to know everything else earlier. Your finals used to be 5 hours. A single class was 5 hours. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. Ohio, it's definitely a konnichiwa time of day, but you know what? It's early somewhere. Oh, I mean, look, I am putting effort in purely for myself. I'm not taking the class. I don't need it for a scholarship. I don't need it for work. Well, work, someone else hiring me. Your final art exam was 10 hours over 2 days? Jesus Christ. Deranged developer? It's Capcom. So I'm hoping that in the winter break, I'm going to have 6 days per chapter of the upcoming 6 chapters. I'll be able to spend a little bit more time studying. It'd be nice to at least have a base familiarity of the vocab going into the next semester, because that's just like the more repetitions and time you get, the better you get at that sort of thing. And it's like in the middle of a semester, you're always just trying to prepare for the very next test. Like you can't ever get ahead. Why do they want us to suffer? I don't know the answer. Why? How? When? Learn Spanish? How many Spanish-only video games exist, do you think? Are there a lot of independent Spanish game developers that like don't localize their games? He's basically asking them for something new to mathematical science interesting. I know there's a lot of games that have never left China, the PRC specifically. No real notable series? That's kind of rude. So there's a post in the Discord. I am not a React streamer. But it's a video on gear you need streaming and recording, and I thought I might watch it and give my input. Tango 48 años. Not a drama. I haven't even watched it. Although I did hear that Elgato gear was recommended. So I would just like to give my own take on the work that they've already put in it. It looks like a well-produced video. The camera looks like he did a good job. I am 48 years old. Tengo 28 años. Años. Not anus. I do not have 28 anuses. Años. All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna watch. So it's Gear Gamer. He plays Monster Hunter. He's a Monster Hunter content creator.
What's up, everybody?
Well, he's got sponsored in that video. It says includes paid promotion.
Gamer, welcome back to the channel today.
He's got a really nice camera.
And we are doing
his lighting is very good.
An unboxing.
Wait, where am I? I am not even here.
Products you're gonna need in order to get your streaming career started. So I get this question all
Sponsor
the time.
is probably NordVPN.
Things I should get in order if I want to start my streaming career, my YouTube journey. Well, I'm about to list them, but a special shout out for Best Buy sponsor in this
Can't
video.
hear it at all?
About to go over some products. I have a lot of them here. I'm gonna do a full unboxing. We got
I think it's
mics.
red.
We have
What is this? I'm
headphones.
reacting to streaming advice.
A microphone. You need to make sure your microphone's ready. It sounds amazing. And we have a camera we're gonna be utilizing that's gonna allow us to record some juicy face cams.
That looks like a very expensive camera.
When we do that, oh, it captures all in beautiful frame rate. Also, we got some stuff behind me as well. That's gonna allow us to make sure we're extra comfortable when we're recording. Without further ado, so start off with the microphone. Mic is the most important thing I feel that any content creator should be looking at first, because
I agree with him. I think if you are a content creator, you should absolutely start first with thinking about what type of microphone you're going to use and what sort of budget you have for that. I have no personal experience with the Wave 3. I have personal experience with Elgato, and usually it's a lot more headache than it's worth. Some people in chat are saying they think the Wave mic is good. What's the price on this microphone? Oh, it's definitely a USB microphone. It's the Wave 3. It is $109. Well, that's not too expensive. That's on sale. Retail, it's $150. It's a condenser capsule. So the only issue with condenser microphones is they can be very sensitive. They don't normally do a very good job of rejecting noise around you. So depending on how sound treated your area is in terms of like, do you have like a lot of hard surfaces? Do you have a lot of carpet? Do you take the time to put up those black acoustic panels? I've used those before. You know, you can get away with more of a carotid microphone. The nice thing about carotid microphones is in general, I think they do sound better than dynamic microphones. They're just a little bit better at picking up like the nuances of your voice. The problem is if you're on like a mouse and a keyboard and you've especially got a mechanical mouse keyboard, you're going to get a lot of that noise coming in. And so you have to spend a lot of time trying to tweak things. And same thing with a controller, you know, I mean, usually your controller is like right underneath you. This doesn't look like it's going to have a really easy way of rejecting your controller noise. Outside of software, because it looks like it's a completely digital solution, it's going to do all that work in software. So you might end up having an issue with there being a bit of a delay or pops or stutters, depending on how good the software is at running in real time, especially in conjunction with OBS. But you gotta start somewhere for $100. I would almost definitely recommend this over a Blue Yeti, unless you were doing 100% not live streaming video games. You're doing just chatting, in which case Blue Yetis can be okay for that.
Because if your video is low quality or 720, it's fine. People can get through it. But if they can't hear you or you have some screeching noises, people are not going to want to listen around and stick in with the video.
Screeching
so to
noises.
support us, we're going to start
What
off
mic do I have?
unboxing.
I use the Shure SM7B. The Shure SM7B is like the basic, every YouTuber slash streamer slash content creator picks this thing up. It's a microphone that was designed from the outset to be as neutral of a sound as possible, which means that in post you can do a lot of things because you're not going to get any weird tweaks or anything else like that from it. Is it a good microphone? Famously, Michael Jackson used it to record one of his albums. It's not normally used for music, but it can be. It's definitely not used for like commercial voiceovers. A lot of those voiceovers that you hear for commercials are done with like those boom microphones, like long, thin looking things, which do a really good job of picking up like a rumble, you know, in your chest, and it makes you sound deeper and better. But it can be very fatiguing if you're listening to somebody talking through one of those voiceover microphones for a long time. So Shure SM7B is nice. Shotgun microphone. SM7B is nice because it's not going to be a very fatiguing sort of aspect to your voice. Use one of these to stop your keyboard clicks from picking up in your microphone. I mean, when I used to use the Blue Yeti, I would literally record with like a heavy comforter over my lap with my controller underneath it to try and like reduce the amount of noise that would get picked up by the microphone. It's a real pain. That looks like something you would use for like handling radioactive elements. So the Shure SM7B, the issue with the Shure SM7B is A, it's expensive. I mean, retail is $500. I think I bought mine for $400. It's on sale now for $360. It doesn't sound amazing, but it does sound good. Like it doesn't like in a 10-second clip, you're not gonna be like, wow, the SM7B sounds amazing. But over time, you'll appreciate the more neutral noise. And then yes, it's a analog microphone, which then means you need a mixer to plug it into, a digital or an analog to digital converter / mixer. You don't normally need a pop screen, but I do find that at least with the default version of the windscreen, I used to use the thick boy one, but then I switched to this one. Your P's will sometimes get picked up, and a cheap pop filter, like $5, will make it so that your P's don't sound really bad. I can demonstrate that. So, Peter picked my Pepe. All right, and I'll move it. Peter picked my Pepe. And so you kind of get like a harsh popping noise if you don't use a pop filter. And I just noticed that recently. This is a recent addition. I only noticed it because I was doing Japanese homework. And I'm like, I can kind of notice my P's a little bit. Why is Peter picking my Pepe? It's his favorite. He likes it a lot. But we'll get into that later. I don't know if he's going to get into it. It would be interesting for him to say, your microphone is way more important than your camera. Recommend the Wave 3 for $100 and then recommend a $1,000 camera. I think that's what he's going to do, but let's see.
The Wave 3. This is by Elgato, by Corsair, and it's a lovely mic. Cool thing about this mic is it has 70 to 20,000 frequency response. Ensures efficiency of sounds delivered, meaning that
sounds sponsored.
Pick up all the lower volumes and the higher volumes in your voice, so it sounds really good. It's a condenser mic. It's very, very powerful for all of your needs. So
Is this sponsored?
Gaming, live streaming, podcasts, all those things as well. So cool thing about this is it has a built-in clip guard. What that means is a lot of times when you're playing a game, say you're playing a scary game and a cool scene happens, you get scared, you scream. Cool thing about the mic is it's able to pick all of that stuff up and lower the volume so that you can get a clean audio output.
So the interesting thing is, and this is all right. So 100% true story. I was recently in a frothing shouting match over the analog to digital mixer interfaces for XLR mics like this. And recently the Scarlett, I'll just grab it. It's like literally on the ground. I don't just have one. I've got two of them. I've got two of them. So you need something to plug your XLR mic into. And so the general recommendation from the internet is to get one of these. These perform the same function. These are the Focusrite. The bottom one is the Focusrite 2nd Gen 2i2. You could actually plug in two XLR mics here. And then this is the Focusrite, it's the 3rd gen, I think. I think it's the Focusrite Solo 3rd gen. So this is a newer model up here. And I mean, they worked pretty well for quite a while. And I don't know if there was an update to Windows, if there was an update to the Windows driver, if there was an update to the drivers to these, but at some point, maybe about a month to month and a half ago, I started to notice that there'd be pops in the audio. And those pops were happening because the audio interfaces were not able to run in real time quickly enough. The buffer, the thing that holds the data of the microphone going to the computer was getting full. And when that happens, it makes a bad noise. I'm talking like in caveman terms. Like I understand it really well, but I don't know the best terminology for it. But in caveman terms, the drivers were crap and they weren't working well in a live streaming environment. I'm on Windows 10 and I use a program. It's called LatencyMon. I've gone through, I've done everything possible to reduce the amount of latency in the computer for the audio interface to work. I updated the drivers all the way. I tried all different buffer options. And so I saw a deal thread on Scarlett's and they were a pretty good price. You could get a Scarlett, like one of them for like $60. There was another one for $100. And I posted on the thread and I'm like, hey, you know, I've been using Scarlett's professionally for 4 years. And if it's somebody who's just needs a cheap interface to do a small amount of work on non-professionally, I think they could be good to get started. But if you're going to be live streaming or if you're using it as a professional, I said, I picked up this Revelator IO24. I'm going to link it here. And this thing's actually, this is pretty cool. So, not sponsored, not shilling, but it's not that much more expensive retail compared to the Scarlett. I think it's like $150. $150. And it has like an audio chain. So like a real good preamp mixer. You can set up an audio chain of things like remove S noises, create an audio gate. You can add a compression, a whole bunch of things. And it happens in real time on the Revelator, completely separate from the computer. So all the things that you would normally run in a filter on OBS with the Focusrite get 100% run on the Revelator. Not only that, it's got actually good drivers for Windows. And I've noticed no No popping at all. So my post was, I've used Focusrite Scarletts for a long time. There was an update. I don't think they'd be good for anyone who plans to live stream or use them professionally, but they'd be good if you need something on sale. Otherwise, check out something like the Revelator IO24. And the person who posted the thread, goddamn moderator, deleted my comment and warned me, said, there's no issues with the Focusrites and you don't need to be shilling in this thread. And then I posted back and I said, and he said, here's a link on how to resolve popping with the Focusrite Scarlett. And I said, because you even have to post a YouTube on how to fix the popping proves my point that there is popping. And now you're the shill. I'm not the shill. You're the shill. Jesus Christ. So, if it were me, if it were a close friend of mine and they were asking me advice, I would say just get the Revelator. It's an extra $50, but there is nothing worse in content creation that than having recorded something and realize that the footage or the audio is unusable because there was popping, and then you got to re-record a thing. And so you got to go out of editing mode, and you got to go back into production mode. Can the Priestlanders drive the SM7B without a cloud lifter? I use mine with a cloud lifter. Let me see where the DB is. I think it would be close. I mean, the SM7B is just like it's a hungry little boy. On the stream mix, I got the DB up to 3 with a cloud lifter. It's saying I'm clipping, but I don't think I'm really clipping. I would use it for a cloud lift. I would use it with a cloud lifter. But I mean, I don't know. I already own a cloud lifter, so I'm going to use it. Yeah, I mean, it just depends, you know? It just depends on, I mean, everyone's voice is different. Rooms are different. Whether you're using a pop filter or not is different. Across the board, it's different. So, yeah, I mean, what's a cloud lifter is kind of expensive. It's like $100. Cloud lifter just makes, if you're going with the SM7B, which you don't need to, cloud lifter is $150. So that's pretty expensive. I would try it without it first. If somebody really cared, I would unplug my cloud lifter and I would try it off stream, and I would give you an answer to that. Which dev team? The Capcom dev team. We're currently talking about content creation. I'll be playing the video game soon in like 15 to 20 minutes. So, again, for a very first, I just want to dabble in content creation. Is this Wave microphone okay?
Regardless if you're screaming or talking low,
it's probably okay, but you're going to need some sound treating.
Also, want to speak on, while we open this up, this is the packaging. It looks pretty beautiful. Let's go ahead and rip it open right now.
The money train? You only did it once with me? You missed all of it? Oh, man. It was good money.
You hear that?
He's spending like 5 minutes on the Elgato. It's 5 minutes on unboxing that.
So next we're gonna talk about the mouse. Mouse is important because one, you need to be able to control all the elements of your computer, but also you need to make sure you're extremely smooth and accurate while you're playing the games as well. We have here in front of us the Razer Viper.
Is this sponsored?
Cool thing about this mic is it connects 25% faster than internet mic on available.
He called
right
the
now,
mouse a
currently.
microphone. That's
has
okay.
80 hours of battery life, and with this you can enjoy some smooth gameplay, high performance, low latency.
That is a $127 mouse. Okay, hold on. What? Huh. I don't know. I don't game with a mouse. I can't say anything about the mouse. Yeah, I think I used to have a Razer mouse, and I don't like, although it's becoming more common now, if you want to change the lights or sometimes even use the mouse, you have to install software, and I think Razer's really bad about that. In fact, I think you got to like log in, you got to like make an account. Okay, so we can skip that. Is the next thing your chair?
Let's talk about the chair right now. First of all, the chair, the way it feels when you sit in it feels amazing. It has a...
Okay, so I'm not calling all gamer chairs a scam. I'm sure they have like a certain feel to them that if you like them, it's fine. But I think they're all made in basically like the same factory, and they just like badge them differently depending on whoever placed the order. So I'm not saying like this is what you would do, but I mean, just as like an example of like where these chairs are coming from. Why is it like that? Hold on. I don't know why it's flipped horizontally. There we go. Like, this is Alibaba. You know, I mean, it's $50 wholesale. What's the Razer chair sell for? When you have to scroll to see the price, that's a bad sign. $450. Yeah, I use an office chair. I think this one was from Staples. I'm not claiming that Staples has the best office chair, but let me see. Trying to see how much I paid for it. Is that it? Nope. I don't know if I ordered it from Staples or not. I'm trying to find out. Share. I found a butt pillow I ordered for Jen. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go with everyone else. Like, for the most part, an office chair is what you want. Some of the gamer chairs do let you, like, recline. I don't think it's worth $500. Chair is the most important part of streaming setup. It can be sitting there for 8 hours a day. I mean, you could get a standing desk. And pads, and an office chair for like the same price as the Razer chair. I think this desk was like $200. I used to use monitor mounts on arms and an ironing board to have a standing setup, but I couldn't go back to sitting easily. So I eventually just ended up buying an actual standing desk. It's a little bit of a splurge, but it really wasn't that much money. I don't know if that there's major health benefits between standing and sitting, but I think it's nice to have the option to go between both of them. I don't really like the way it feels to use a mouse and keyboard while standing. But playing video games is fine. Is the chair splurge resistant? It's got like a kind of like a mesh material. I don't think it's got like a coating to reject like bodily fluids. Okay, so this has been a very interesting. I mean, we're reacting to this video, Admiral Nikimura, and we are more than halfway in, and we have discussed microphones, a specific microphone that he unboxed over 5 minutes, a mouse, and a chair. So we're gonna get into 8:30.
These are Kraken headset. These are the kitty edition. So I'm standing them up so you look at them up from all angles.
What?
Headphones are important. They're important so you can, one, get the immersive experience while you're gaming. One, communicate with the people in your party, depending on the game you're playing. Also, they're really good for spatial awareness. Depending on the game you're playing, you can tell the direction of the enemy coming after you based on the location that's coming through you on your headphones.
So next
what I
in
have
the
here is
video
cool because
for the
they
next
do a lot of things. They light up.
5 minutes.
As you can imagine, and I'll put that on in a second. And it actually reacts to your audience. So
cat ear headphones. Cat boy headphones. It all gets
connected through the companion app. So the streaming companion app that you will download to.
Was he sponsored by Razer?
So you can get the full experience. These are active noise canceling to improve your stream production, and they have a high quality mic so you can block out all the noise.
Sponsored by Best Buy. These are all products you can get at Best Buy.
Also, too, let me just take them out of here.
Why are we watching this anyway? This guy creates Monster Hunter content. His video is posted in the Discord.
Yeah, nice and gentle.
All right, so, I don't even really know where to start, with this. Could these headphones be okay? For the sake of argument, let's say they're probably okay. A lot of times, especially if you're streaming for a long time, you'll get fatigued. And so to me, the most important thing for like a long streaming session is comfort. And the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn are no longer being sold. They're the Sennheiser 555s. But Sennheiser no longer makes those headphones. You can't buy them anymore. They make the Sennheiser 595s, but those are worse. The 555s are no longer being sold. So for like the last, let's say 10 years. Be nice. 10 years. The last 10 years, I have been on a journey to find the most comfortable, non-fatiguing headphones that I could find. And it's been a long journey, but I think I'm pretty well settled. I've had a lot of people recommend headphones that I promise you sound better than the SHP was it 1000s? 9500s? I'm sure there are many headphones that are better than these. Audio-Technica's ATH 8700s. On-ear or over here? If you prefer on-ear headphones, you might actually be an alien. Like, you are probably wearing a skin suit and you've been told that you believe you're a human. I believe I have tried these headphones, the Audio-Technica 8700s, and I don't think I like them. I don't think I found them comfortable. Oh, no. I've not tried these. They look really weird. They're on sale, like really cheap. But you know what? Not that they're really not that expensive. So the SHP 9500s right now on sale, $63. I mean, it's really not a bad price. If you've never bought headphones before and you've always just used like whatever garbage has been laying around or given to you or whatever, I would highly recommend this. Where's the share button? All right, this is a referral link. I have never actually gotten money from Amazon, so don't call me a shill. But I just literally can't find the link otherwise. I will get referral link from the ad sponsored, but I promise you, I've never seen a single cent out of that. Ever. The others were, this is somebody else recommended, Audio Technica 8700s. I have no idea if these are good. But just for their sake, I will link it. How much are these? So what is this? The Kraken Kitty Wired. How much do these sell for? $100. So SHP 9500s are $37 cheaper. And I promise you they sound better. They have a very neutral sound to them in that you'll definitely hear everything, but you're not going to get amazing bass. You're not going to get amazing highs or lows or anything. So it's definitely not for an audiophile. They're definitely not an audiophile headphone. They're simply there to let you listen to the game and forget they're there. That's it. That is the only reason I would recommend the 9500s, purely out of comfort. They're not going to be the best sounding headphones you'll ever listen to, but if you're going to be streaming for a long time, comfort is more important than anything. Okay, so we are now almost 9 minutes and 30 seconds in, and I mean, all right, well, here's Lemire. He hasn't even talked about capture cards. What the hell? All right, he's going to talk about the camera.
So next we have the Canon EOS R10. This is perfect for content creators, and not just gaming content creators, but if say you want to take your gameplay to the next level, you can use this where you connect it to your PC and allowing you to record yourself in super high 24 megapixels and very, very, very fast autofocus, which allows you to make sure it catches you during those different moments where you're screaming, you're yelling, you're having your moments of joy while recording. This bad boy right here will allow you to take care of all of that with intense, amazing detail. Super fast autofocus, sleek, lightweight design, so you don't necessarily need some heavy duty equipment to hold it up. It also features high-speed shooting at 15 frames, mechanical shutter.
It's $1,000.
I already set a 2.4 aperture. So this thing is cool. So let's take it and open it up a little bit. We'll turn it on. So now,
yeah, don't spend that much money on it. Don't. Well, I mean, okay. So it depends entirely on what sort of content you want to create. If you're a video game streamer, the size that you see me in is probably about as big as you're ever going to get. And even theoretically, even 720p is enough when you're this small when you're this little of a guy. When you're just a little guy, like 720p is fine. Like if anything, the most important thing is your lighting. Although I've seen many very large streamers like Moon, who just plays in the dark. He just plays in a dark room and he's lit by their monitors. And I would say at this point, thank you, Overlord Dean, you probably have a phone that is as good, if not better, than a camera would be anyways. And you just link it up, plug it in, and point it at your face. I would say lights, like I use some IKEA lights. Let me see if I can find my IKEA lights. I like these. They're a nice warm color. Oh, here we go. These are them right here. They're called the Louders. I'm gonna clip this. I like these a lot. I could recommend these. It's got adjustable height, so you can adjust it to be at about your head level. Nice warm light. The only thing that I kind of wish they had, and there might be a way to set it up, is like a dimmer to make them brighter or dimmer. But they're very nice. They sell, and I have had like an Elgato key light before. It's a $20 lamp on a tripod. The tripod is very important, though. It really is, because you need it to be able to go over your monitors, because if it's behind your monitors, then you're going to get shadows. Yeah, you don't want, like for at least a year, I had these huge studio lamps blasting my face with bright white light. And I don't care how much hair you have, you will have the shine of a 5 head like a golden god. Like you will be radiating light off of your face from that light because it's so harsh and bright. Like you would need to apply makeup, like caked on makeup regularly in order to make it like look normal. So in this light, like there's like a little shine, but it's like mostly like okay, like you mostly look normal, you know? My camera, you know, I don't know if I got like a great deal or if I overpaid or whatever. I use a Sony ZV-10. It was cheaper than it was like $700. I would not recommend that as a starter. Like I said, I think using a phone is great. You do need capture card products with that. I recommend everything by AverMedia. The camera is actually cheaper now than when I got it. That's wild. I'll link it. I'm not recommending it, but that's what I use. The Sony ZV-10. I will recommend anything by AverMedia. Never buy anything by Elgato that requires software. Ever. It's not worth it. So I use the AverMedia Extreme Cap for my camera. This is $80. This is just to capture my camera. I think it's a reasonable price. It's cheaper, I think, than when I bought it. Things are cheap now, man. Capture card, I use the AverMedia Live Gamer Ultra. There might be a better version out now, but this has been fine. This is $150. And that's only if you've got like a 2 PC setup. You're capturing game consoles. If you're on a single PC setup, we got 2 monitors. Like you don't need a capture card. You just capture the monitor. Did I miss How Was Class daily section of stream? You did. They came out with the Live Gamer Extreme 3. That can do VRR and HDR. I would argue possibly that doesn't matter as much because, again, you're probably capturing off of something else. I don't know how HDR content even looks streamed. Would the Extreme Cap be good enough for capturing a PS4? 1080p 60. Yeah. The other card that I use, the AverMedia Live Gamer Ultra, that has support for like 4K and 120 FPS, which I don't ever really use anymore. The reason for that is I was finding that when I was feeding OBS anything other than 1080p 60, things would sometimes get a little messy. So I just stick with 1080p 60. I suffer for your visual entertainment. Did you miss Sunbreak? No. So what was the total price? Well, the camera is $1,000. That does not include a capture card. The headphones were $100. The gaming chair was $450. $1,550. The mouse was $100, $1,650, and the Wave was $100, $1,650. Yeah, I mean, look, no disrespect to Dear Gamer. He's a pretty big streamer now. He's got 121,000 subscribers, and I'm happy that he got sponsored. I'm sure Best Buy gave him all those things, but that's not a very helpful video. I mean, you want to tell people, focus on your microphone most. Any money you're going to invest into streaming should probably revolve around your microphone and things that are microphone adjacent. Camera, you should have a way to show your face or capture your face for a VTuber. Not that you can't become a streamer without showing your face, but it helps. You do not need $1,000 camera. You're usually you're just a little guy. You're normally just a little guy. So you don't need a really great camera unless your content is going to involve like you showing your face and just chatting a lot. Or your body. If you plan to show off your body, that could be nice. If you do get an actual DSLR, that might be nice for recording some in real life footage, but it's going to be annoying going from like a streaming setup to disconnecting everything and then recording. I think for my in real life content, I'm just going to use a phone. I think it's going to be good enough. I'm probably going to get like a clip-on Rode microphone. And I'm just going to use like my Samsung S10, and that's just going to be it. I think there's not a lot of expectations as far as like in real life streaming goes anyways. So as long as you're there, you're talking to people, and you got to remember, like when most people are watching Twitch streams, not everyone, but a good number of people are watching Twitch streams with chat on like a 1080p monitor. So they've got your window that's 1080p compressed anyways, and then chat on the side. It's not that big of a deal. Like you do not need to have like full 1080p or better. What's more important is getting sound treatments for your room if it needs it, for your microphone, getting good light so you don't look like a little shadow goblin. And then just focus on your content. Just have good content. I mean, that sort of stuff, like all this other stuff around it is meaningless if you've got the personality of a rock. You got to have something that you're doing that's going to be entertaining anyways. All these other things are nice to have. They're just nice. They're not required. Certainly not required. But you could get into it definitely for on a budget under $500, especially if you're getting everything on one PC. But hey, if you end up hating it, microphones have resale value usually. So it's worth thinking about, worth considering. So odd video. I would have put more time and effort into it. I understand he had to show off like sponsored objects, but he didn't talk about like a arm for like a microphone. He didn't talk about sound treatments. He didn't talk about lighting. There's like so many things that you'd want to think about first for streaming before you're like, you need Catboy headphones. The SM7B doesn't really need a shock mount. It depends how often you're going to be like hitting your table anyways. I did buy a shock mount and it sucked. So don't cheap out on that if you're going to get one. I don't use it anymore. The people that want that info are watching real tech videos and not sponsor stuff like that. I don't know about that. You don't know that. I mean, 144,000 subscribers. I mean, there's probably a couple people that did watch it and have a current order placed for Catboy headphones, an Elgato Wave 3 microphone, and a $1,000 DSLR without a way to connect it to the computer. I know, but it's like, is it okay that you're ripping off teenagers? I don't think so. So that was a long, unscripted rant. Don't get these. Just do not get a Focusrite Scarlett. There are far better products out there for the same price or just a little bit more. It's my one bit of advice. If you're going to go XLR. All right, let's play the video game.